It is the roots and culture, right here, right now.
I'm Scott Alves Barton, food scholar, chef, culinary consultant, with a focus on the African diaspora, food ways that are both sacred and secular, and women's knowledge. Today I'm here to talk to you about okra. Lady fingers, kiabo, gombo, kingombo, okra. Okra is a very important foodstuff in the African diaspora throughout the Americas and on the continent. It is a food that came with the Africans across the Atlantic in the Middle Passage, or Maafa, the Black Holocaust, and is something that is a harbinger that identifies where Africans have been, generally speaking. We see its use from Senegambia to Southern Africa or Southwest Africa, as well as in South Asia and the Americas. We've had to learn a lot about the other people with whom we live around, but often they don't know that much about us. Here we see okra being cut for karuru, the okra stew that is cousin to gumbo in the United States or kalulu in the Caribbean, being cut by the sisters of la Boa Morte, or the sisters of the good death. Sal Cosme me mandou fazer uma camisinha azul. Quando chega o dia dele, só Cosme quer caruru. Vadia Cosme, vadia Cosme, na areia. Só Cosme, só Damião. Cheira cravo, cheira rosa, cheira flor de laranjeira. Vadia Cosme, vadia Cosme, vadia Cosme, vadia. Cosme e Damião, vem comer teu caruru, que é de todo ano. Fazer caruru pra tu. Vem cá, dois. Vem cá, dois. Vadia, Cosme, vadia, Cosme, na areia. So Cosme ordered me to make a little blue shirt for him on the day of his festival. So Cosme would like caruru. Go wander, Cosme, go wander, Cosme, go wander in the sand while we make it. So Cosme Damião, smell the cloves, smell the roses, smell the orange blossoms. Go wander, Cosme, wander, Cosme, wander, wander. So Cosme, Saltomiao, they are coming to eat your caruru that is made for twins all year. Caruru will be made for you. It is the dish for the twins. Come here, you two. Come here, come you too. Go wander, Cosme, wander, go wander, Cosme, wander in the sand. This is but one song or poem or legend that is used to herald twins and to herald okra in all of its permutations. We know it in many iterations, predominantly in this country. We use it for gumbo. It is also fried or pickled for those who don't like its mucilaginous qualities. But as you see in this 19th century, early 20th century, century news clipping, it can be roasted. The pods can be roasted and made in coffee. In the comedy album by Skillet and Leroy, The Okra Eaters, we refer to its penile appearance and learn that early settler colonials noticed that the Africans enslaved women were using it as an abortifacient, literally cutting the pods and rubbing them in their uterine wall. It almost became, or the gasipal, that chemical in the seeds of all of the hibiscus or mallow family, okra, cotton, and hibiscus all have it. The male contraceptive or one of the active agents. Unfortunately, it tended to make men not only impotent but sterile. As I said earlier, most of us know okra okra in gumbo may be redolent with meat or seafood. Cutting it carefully, when we cut it in a sacred fashion, the manner in which we cut it identifies the saint or deity who's going to be honored. For some, it's okra gumbo or kalulu or okra soup or supakanja, amalapa shango, kormiku. These various okra dishes take us from Senegal to Trinidad and Tobago to Bahia to New Orleans to the Low Country. In Rio de Janeiro, at the National Museum of Brazil, on the far left is a wooden carving of Shango, the Orisha or deity in Candomblé and in Lukumi and Santeria tradition, that is the god of war and justice, fertility, and passion. He is heralded, as are the sacred twins, with dishes made of okra, karuru in the secular form, or amala when it's sacred. Caribe, the Argentinian artist who made these large wooden carvings of all of the deities. Here again, Shango and the watercolor on the far right. We see in these images here the depiction of the sacred twins, which are in Nigeria and particularly in the Yoruba, the highest degree of twin births happens in that part of West Africa and for all of the globe. And they are deified, semi-deified. They are seen to be a window between the sacred and the secular, the sacred and the divine. And we see also images of the Catholic version of the twin saints, Cosmas and Damian, or Cosme y Damião. They are celebrated in Brazil on the 26th of September in the festival of Socorro Damião, something that is analogous to a marriage of our Thanksgiving and Halloween. Candy is given, parades are held, there are masses, but most importantly, in every home that chooses to honor the festival, 7 youngest children are seated in a circle on the floor, are made to eat a meal with their hands that has fufu, karuru, black-eyed peas, farofa, rice, and rapadura, and desserts made with rapadura, the crude sugar, as well as fresh coconut. As each child eats, they are sung to, like I recited the poem, and they are serenaded. A samba is danced later in the evening. But as the children eat and are serenaded, luck comes to those children because a karuru brings luck and good fortune to not only those children, but then to the house and to the family. Then the adults eat and open their doors and invite strangers in to eat with them, so the community at large is imbued with luck. My dear friend Ayrton Heraclito, an artist in Bahia, had staged a series of performances to honor the tradition of offering to one's head, or bori, the process of developing your consciousness and honoring your deities. And with each deity designated for each person, there is a food that is used in the sacred practices. And so he's extrapolated it by making it a performative process and using an extraordinary amount of those foods to identify how the food feeds the head. Afterwards, a meal was made with all of these large volumes of corn and acarajé and yams and popcorn to feed to the community. In this 1769 compendium of manners, custom, and botanical information of Guyana by Bancroft from the UK, he identifies the qualities that we commonly know of okra, the cavities that are circular or oval with the brown in coloring inside, with seeds and a distinct smell of musk and an oiliness about the seeds. He identifies how they can be helpful to treat snake bites, and taken internally, they can help you to heal a wound or an upset stomach. He makes several statements about the aroma, which we'll come back to. We see here from a performance that I did, okra soup, a recipe taken from Mrs. George Stoney's receipt book or plantation cookbook from Charleston in the late 1800s. And in this case, the okra soup, an icon of the diaspora cooking is made or identified as the recipe of an enslaved cook, Mom Sarah. This was all gathered in the book by Karen Hess, The Carolina Rice Kitchen, The African Connection, and the facsimile of the Carolina Rice Cookbook. And in it, we see from this page extraction on 56 and 57, various recipes that include okra from neighbors or friends, as well as from Mom Sarah, an enslaved cook, rendering her visible in plain sight. I mentioned the aroma, and in this French 19th century apothecary, we might find ambrette. Ambrette is a cousin, also in the mallow family, like hibiscus and cotton. The seeds, when ground and distilled, will make that aroma that Bancroft identified in 1769, and the perfume that is the simulacrum of the musk usually historically derived from deer or ox glands. The Buddhists, the Hindus, and Persians were quick, and Zoroastrians were quick to make the vegetarian version because they didn't want to slaughter and or milk the deer or musk ox. And as we see from the citation, it is also able to ease digestion, cramps, dyspepsia, and if made into an emulsion with milk, itchiness of skin. And at the very end, considered an aphrodisiac as a perfume and as an incense. A fascinating letter from February 1949 from Mrs. Georgia Johnson to W.E.B. Du Bois. I dreamed last night that I cooked a large black Milan straw hat for you as a substitute for okra. You came to a hotel with that hat. A little boy followed me around while we went through many corridors to the kitchen, time after time. It was so vivid, I had to write. Usually I forget my dreams. Dreams are very foolish, but life is also quite senseless. Are you coming down the 11th of February to the presentation of the new anthology? If you are, please tell me that I can let the press club know for a luncheon and also a dinner around 6. They have to know, but the reception around 10 with refreshments, etc. is okay, but you must be prepared especially for other things. It would be wonderful to have you. Phone me at North 1305. Faithfully, Georgia Douglas Johnson. And something that is nearly extinct in this country, let's take a listen to Mr. Okra.
I have cabbage, I have collard greens, I have mustard greens, I have nice mustard greens, collard greens, cabbage, I have eggplant, potatoes on potatoes, I have onion, I have garlic, I have bell pepper, tomatoes, cucumbers, avocado. Giving y'all get your vegetables.
You're getting strawberry. All right, bake.
I have oranges and bananas. I have eaten berries and apples. My name is Dr. Jan Robinson. I'm 73 years old. I live in New Orleans, Louisiana. People call me Mr. Okra. I'm a singing fruit vendor. I ride around the city selling my vegetables. My customers, they love to see that sugar. I have a personal connection with them. I've been selling for over 50 years. My father was a vegetable man, and he taught all of us. I'm kind of like a little celebrity. Make me very happy, knowing people appreciate what I'm doing. When I do retire, I'll still be going on the truck with my daughter. I could never just stay home. I love it too much.
Unfortunately, Mr. Okra passed away a few years ago, and that quality that used to be heard throughout cities across the United States of men and women hawking vegetables and fruits, calling to their community, having voices that people identified and know, oh, he's here. Let me go out and get some okra or watermelon, some strawberries. This is something that we're losing. So think about Mr. Okra when you're making your supakanja, your kalaloo, your kuku, your gumbo, your karuru, fried okra, or pickled. But enjoy it and learn to love the slime. Okra, okra. Thank you.